Hello everybody, Hedgehogs here, and I'm here with my second part of my 100 subscriber special, which is going to be Pokemon related. In which, this will be my top 10 a Pokemon list, as well as my dream team. I wanted to combine the two because, for one, just to show you of which Pokemon I like, and I feel like a separate video probably wouldn't be time-wise. So yeah, let's get right into the top 10 list. So for my top 10 list, I kind of wanted to make a few rules first before we get started. So the first rule is I can only have 2 starters. So that means I can't have like more than 2. Like if I wanted like Charizard and Fernape and Greninja, I cannot do that because that is more than 2. And I really don't want this list to be too filled up with starters. And then also the second rule is 2 legendaries only, meaning that I cannot have mystical Pokemon because, if I could be honest, I don't like any of the mythical Pokemon too much. And again, with the starters, I don't want to overflow this list with legendaries. And then finally, the final rule is no more than 3 from the same region. So I cannot have more than like 3 Johto Pokemon, Kanto Pokemon, so on and so forth. My max is 3, and that is just the rule. And I just wanted to make these rules just so that it can really not limit it, but just like make me think about and appreciate the Pokemon. So let's get into it. For number 10, we have Arbok. Arbok to me is probably one of my favorite Kanto Pokemon, just because of it being a Cobra, and I have fond memories of using it in my first playthrough of Fire Red, which was my second game, as opposed to Soul Silver. And yeah, Arbok to me, I just find it like very I kind of feel bad for it because it doesn't get any love for one thing, and a lot of poison types overshadow it. And I hope one of these days I'm gonna get some kind of boost to get it up to the current meta. And really, I just have fond memories of it, and I just feel bad for it. And yeah, and the fact that I can learn Glare is pretty funny, and also the fact that I can learn Dragon Tail. But I wish for one of these days that Arbok could get a some kind of boost to make sure that it can boost up to the current meta, and maybe even break it. So yeah, Arbok is definitely one of my favorites. I really like its design, and I just really like snakes too. So yeah, that's another point for Arbok right there. For number 9, we have Tyranitar. Tyranitar is probably my favorite rock type, and definitely one of my favorite dark types as well. Tyranitar is probably one of the few Pokemon that I actually used in my first playthrough of my first game, Soul Silver. But it's really the family I used, which was Larvitar. Larvitar I have especially fond memories with because it won me the final battle in the game. And it was pretty funny because it was Atlantis Charizard, and then it was Larvitar, and it won by using Rock Slide, which was that was pretty awesome to me. And yeah, but Tyranitar in general is so freaking strong. He has always been consistently really good competitively, and to make matters worse, it got a Mega. But even the Mega, it's not used as much. I still really like its design. And a lot of people consider it to be the Godzilla of Pokemon, but I actually consider it to be the Space Godzilla of Pokemon. Mainly because of it just having rocks on it, and what does Space Godzilla have? Crystals. And what are crystals? Kind of like rocks. So yeah, that's why I consider Tyranitar the Space Godzilla of Pokemon. But yeah, Tyranitar is just definitely one of my favorites, as well as Larvitar for having that that awesome moment, and it has a special place in my heart. So for number 8, we have probably my second favorite starter, as well as my favorite Kanto starter, And probably one of my favorite fire types as well, Charizard. Yeah, you guys saw it coming. I was gonna put Charizard on here. Fun fact, Charizard was actually the first Pokemon I ever saw, so... Yeah, Pikachu, you weren't the first one. Charizard was. Because I remember, I had a t-shirt with Charizard on it, and it was pretty sweet. I don't know where it is, but I'll try to look for it and see if I can still fit in it. But Charizard, it definitely has that really Dragonic look to it, especially its base form. And Fire Flying, like, it's a good type, but yeah, those Stealth Rocks are gonna hurt. The Megas also look pretty cool. The X version, to me, it looks cool, but it doesn't look the same as the Y version, which actually does look like a Mega of Charizard. To me, the X version kind of looks fanficky-ish, like someone just wanted to make a dragon version of Charizard. But yeah, overall, Charizard is probably one of my favorite starters, and definitely one of my favorite fire types as well. And yeah, I'll defend this thing to the end, especially the Y version. So yeah, Charizard, I would love to have one in real life. Now into number 7, we have Salamence. Salamence has to be one of my favorite Pokemon, and for a while this was actually my number 1 favorite. But yeah, a lot of other Pokemon started to really catch my interest. Salamence is definitely one of my favorite dragon types, probably being my 2nd or 3rd favorite, and probably my favorite Hoenn Pokemon as well. For the longest time, I actually thought that this thing looked more like a I don't know, like to me it looked more like a lizard as opposed to a dragon, but yeah, I was really weird back then. But anyway, so yeah, the base form is really cool, but the Mega, ooh man, that thing is powerful as heck. And when I use it in Showdown, oh boy, this thing tears stuff up. And the description of it, I believe it's one of the descriptions, is that it's literally called the Blood Moon. That is freaking cool. But probably the thing that really draws me into it is its first form, Bagon. It has so much will to fly. Now when it grows into Salamence, it grows wings. Now that is determination, and that is the willpower that gets rewarded so much. But yeah, Salamence is pretty much the wishmaker for in the Pokemon franchise, quite literally. Now into number 6 for my 2nd favorite legendary, and this is a really close tie between the two, and it is Lugia. Yep, Lugia. And yeah, as you know, my first game was Soul Silver, so I had to put this one in here. Lugia to me just looks so majestic. Like, maybe to some it doesn't look too majestic, but to me it really does. And especially after the movie that's in Pokemon 2000, which to me that one's probably my 2nd favorite Pokemon movie. Lugia to me, like, to me the design looks really nice. The shiny too. And normally I don't mention the shiny, but here I gotta mention the shiny. It does look really nice on it. And maybe the typing doesn't make sense to others, but to me it actually makes more sense now that I think about it. Like, maybe it should have been a water flying type, but I think the psychic flying is a little bit better, considering the fact that psychic flying basically allows you to take only super effective damage. Not like 4 times super effective damage, but just 2 times. But anyway, this thing is also really good in battle, especially for being a wall, or if you want it to be a bulky tank. But overall, Lugia is definitely one of the more majestic Pokemon to me, and it definitely holds a special place in my heart, even personally. Alright, so now we're in the top 5. For number 5, we have Nidoking. Nidoking has to be my favorite poison type, and also my favorite ground type as well. And And back then, like, to me, it was like, okay, I like this Pokemon. It's pretty fun. But then when I use it nowadays, oh man, my respect for it went higher. Especially for its... Okay, for its appearance, it looks like Baragon, and it's so freaking, like, cute, but also terrifying at the same time. Just like that one person said in Godzilla... GMK, whatever. But Baragon is... but yeah, Baragon was considered cute in that movie, and I consider Nidoking to be cute in its own way. But it's very fearsome in battle with having the sheer force ability, and then when you put a Life Orb on it, you pretty much have the closest thing to a Mega for it, because you have incredible power. And the Life Orb damage, usually you take damage from it, but if you pair it with sheer force, you still get the boost, but you don't take any damage, and that is sweet. And looks wise, it looks really cool. Just the fact that it's like a bipedal, a rhinoceros, and a rabbit, and a porcupine. It's really weird of how it looks, and I don't know what they were thinking, but I'm willing to bet that Baragon was I'm an inspiration for it, especially the ground typing. But yeah, Nidoking is definitely my favorite Pokemon, and probably my favorite poison type of all time. Like I said in number 6, the legendaries were really hard to pick, and it was a really close tie. So for number 4, we have my favorite legendary by a hair, Giratina. Now, why would I pick Giratina over Lugia? While I do like Lugia more design-wise as well as the typing, Giratina, to me, it just scares me. The distortion world, its home, scares me already. But then when this thing lives in it, it scares me even more. So what about it makes me like it a little bit more than Lugia? The fact that it can have 2 forms is pretty freaking cool to me. Its okay, so its regular form is pretty basic. It has 100 in its in attack and special attack, and 120 in defense and special defense, with okay speed and a ridiculous amount of HP. So you pretty much have a wall right there. But then we get to the origin form, you have an attacking monster. Especially with the Gisterous form, I don't know how to pronounce it. But paired with that thing, that 120 attack and special attack will now be a monstrous amount of offense. And you could do so many things with Giratina. You could run like a wall set, you could run a physical set, a special set, a mix set, a status spreader, a spreader set. There are so many things you could do with it, and yeah, if I can be truthful, this thing is probably the most versatile dragon type of all time. And it being a ghost and dragon, that's a really good typing, a really good offensive typing that not many can tank. And I think only a couple can really tank its typing. Like maybe Dark and Dragon, or no, not even. Like I said, like Ghost Dragon is probably one of the best offensive types in the game. And yeah, Giratina, he just scares me, man. Now, not many people like clowns. When someone hears clown, they think of someone like the Joker, Pennywise, the killer clowns from outer space, or the clowns that come out on the streets of Halloween. And my thoughts on that, I get a little bit sad when people tell me that, when all they could think about with clowns is that. But then number 3, made me realize just how fun clowns can be and why I like them. Number 3 goes to Blastophon. Yep, my favorite Ultra Beast and probably my favorite fire and ghost type. This thing, when I first saw it, I was like, oh wow, that thing looks so cool. Because I really like clowns. If I could be truthful, I love clowns. Not the freaking like posers that go out on the streets and try to scare everybody. Blastophon reminded me of the clowns that are supposed to bring joy and bring smiles, and then these guys just have to go and ruin it all. Like Pennywise, okay, like I have to admit, I do like Pennywise, but other things like the street clowns and the killer clowns from outer space, no, just no. But Blastophon, to me, is probably one of the best Pokemon to me, just because of how like its beastly special attack 151 is pretty monstrous, and especially when you get a beast boost from it, holy shoot, that special attack skyrockets as well. And yeah, its ghost typing is also really good. Unfortunately, it can't do well against things like Tyranitar or just other dark types. But yeah, but I just really like its design too, and especially its first trailer when it first comes up. I just like it. It's just so much fun, and Mind Blown has to be one of my favorite moves. It's just a nuke, and it takes half your life bar. But man, if you could somehow get a Magikarp Blastophon, Mind Blown's everywhere. Like you just freaking nuke it like all over the place. Like that would just be freaking unstoppable. But yeah, Blastophon is definitely one of my favorite Pokemon, and it reminds me of how much clowns should bring joy to people. Okay, so now we're in number 2. Choosing number 1 and number 2 was probably the most difficult thing for me to do on a top list. So, my number 2 has to go to my favorite dragon type, Hydreigon. Yes, I know I added an accent, but yep, it's Hydreigon. Now, you're probably thinking, why is it... Okay, now why is Hydreigon number 2 and not number 1? Well, I'll explain at number 1, but anyway, Hydreigon has to be my favorite dragon type as well as my favorite dark type. And I mean, come on, really? I mean, really, you're gonna tell me that it's not based off King Ghidorah? Come on. You know that I really love King Ghidorah, so I'm obviously gonna love Hydreigon. And I love using it on Showdown. Like, it's pretty much my go-to Pokemon, like, anywhere. Whether it's UU, or OU, or Ubers, or even in the other metagames. I just love using Hydreigon. It's probably my favorite, powerhouses of the game. And I kind of wish that that came in like Gen 7 or something, because yeah, ever since fairies were introduced, poor Hydreigon. But anyway, Hydreigon is just such a monster on the battlefield. Even unboosted, it is still this thing hits like a truck. With that 125, man, you're gonna be hitting things pretty freaking hard, even unboosted. And specs, man, you're just gonna be freaking just blowing things away. So yeah, Hydreigon has to be my number 2. Alright, here we go. So for my number 1, who could it possibly be? Well, if you haven't noticed yet, it's going to be a starter. But which one? So I seem to like reptiles a lot. With Arbok, Charizard, Hydreigon, and I also like the powerhouses like Nidoking, Salamence, Tyranitar, Giratina. But I also like my bulk, like Lugia, and and also normal Giratina. So, who could it possibly be? Well, since my first game was Soul Silver, who could be my number one? Who could have worn it better? I don't see anybody better. And my number one has to go to Feraligatr. Feraligatr was my first ever Pokemon. Charizard may have been the first Pokemon I saw, but Feraligatr was the first one I ever used. Now, I could have chosen any other Pokemon. I could have chosen Hydreigon. I could have chosen Tyranitar. I could have chosen Arbok. I could have chosen any of these other guys, but I chose Feraligatr. Because this dude on my first playthrough, he was my strongest one, even stronger than Lugia. When I went in the Pokemon League, he was level 63. And I really had to owe it to him to really getting me into the game, because if I chose any other Pokemon, I probably wouldn't like this game. And I have to thank Feraligatr for it. Totodile was just so freaking cute. Crocodile looked cool. But then when Feraligatr came, I knew that it was probably one of my favorite Pokemon. And now, it is my favorite Pokemon. And today marks the 8th year that I've been a Pokemon fan. And I had to salute Feraligatr for being the first ever Pokemon that I ever used. And he will always, and probably will always be, my favorite Pokemon due to nostalgia, and to him being, to me, the Godzilla of Pokemon. So for my number one, it is Feraligatr. Okay, so now on to my dream team. So my dream team is going to be consisting of 6 Pokemon. And those 6 will be my starter / water, fire, or grass. And yes, I'm going to be using those 3 types. And then electric, and then my pseudo legendary, and then my mega. So let's go right ahead and get to it, because I want to make this part a little bit quicker. So my starter, if you didn't already, it's going to be Feraligatr. I mean, come on. So yeah, I'll say Feraligatr will be both my starter and my water type. The fire type will be Blaziken, because I just like it for how much of a good fire type it is. It's pretty freaking powerful, and it's a really good a sweeper as well. My grass type, it's actually going to be Ferrothorn. And not pretty much anybody else, because if I could be honest, like, Ferrothorn probably has to be my favorite, grass type. And yeah, it may seem weird, but Ferrothorn to me is just a good, defensive Pokemon. And I think, and yeah, I think it fits really well as a defensive wall. And then my electric type is gonna be Raichu. Yeah, I know, why am I not using Pikachu? But I like Raichu better, and I like the regular form a little bit better, just because it, you can run a mixed set with it, and that's probably why my Raichu is going to be a mixed set. And then my pseudo legendary is going to be my trusty Hydreigon. Yep, he's going to be my pseudo legendary, and he is going to be a powerhouse. And then my mega will be Mega Aerodactyl, because I love dinosaurs, and Aerodactyl is going to represent my love for dinosaurs. And yeah, that is it. So my dream team is Feraligatr, Blaziken, Ferrothorn, Raichu, and Hydreigon, and Mega Aerodactyl. That is my team, or my dream team at least. And yeah, that is going to conclude this part 2 of my subscriber special. Stay tuned for the final part of my 100 sub special. Take care. See you later. Bye bye.